Alright, today we're going to take a look at the MILDOT Master. This is a slide rule analog calculator which is designed for precision long-range rifle fire, correction, and range estimation. Okay, this is set up for MILDOT scopes primarily, however it is very handy for converting back and forth between mils, minutes of angle, and inches. This does all your trigonometry for you instantaneously. And if you're real excited in the field, which you will be if you ever see an animate target that you need to take out for some reason, this thing is going to erase all the variables. It's totally idiot-proof, and every shooter should probably have one of these deals in his pocket if you're using any kind of a scope where you're going to adjust for long-range precision fire, okay? So this is incredibly important. They're like 25, maybe 30 bucks now. I don't know what they cost, but it's totally worth the cash. Everyone should have one of these if you're going to do long-range shooting. Incredibly slick for quick angular conversions on the fly. No other way to travel. Okay, so we have two different windows and we have a slide rule, okay? And what you're going to see is that you have mils over here on the one side. You have your target size in inches here, and then you have your range to the target in meters, in this case down here. Now, if you like yards, you simply just pull that card out and flip it around, and you have it available in yards as well. But we'll just use meters for now, because that's what I got it set to. And you also have another window over here, which is in minutes of angle, and you have bullet drop or bullet hold off, either one in inches, and then you can also convert it to mils. So this is pretty slick, and I'll show you how this works. Let's do an example of how you would use this first off for range estimation. Normally you would take the size of your target in inches, okay, and you take that times 25.4 and divide that by however many mils that target took up in the scope, and that would give you a range in meters, okay? Different formula if you're using yards, but that's the general formula. Well, under pressure you might forget some of those details, and you want to re-verify quickly using this as well, okay? So let's do an example real quick. Everyone knows that this guy is 48 inches tall. The real one's out in the field, okay? Ankylosaur, right? Pretty cool armored type critter here, okay? And so you're looking at this Ankylosaurus here in your scope, and you can tell that he's about 4 mils tall, okay? When you're measuring him, see the top of his back lines up with the 4th mil approximately, okay? So you have a 48-inch tall target. We're going to look in the middle of the window here where it says target sizes. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see what the heck I'm talking about, okay? So we have our target sizes, 48 inches is going to be right here under the 50-inch mark, and he's 4 mils tall. So I simply line that up with that. So there's your 4th mil. There's the size of your target. I'm just going to slide this little guy down a little bit here until I get approximately. So I got the 48 inches lined up with the 4 mils, if you can see what I'm doing. Distance to the target here is about 315 meters. And you can tell by subdividing the little lines. That's pretty simple, huh? Pretty easy. How about, let's say, you're in an environment where there's cars driving around or something, and a bad guy pops up way down range, and you got to use like this car as a target reference point to determine your range. Or if you're even building up a range card maybe in an environment where you have different things that you know the sizes of. So everyone knows that a Dodge Viper has a width of about 76 inches, right? Everyone knows about that, I'm sure. So you simply measure how wide he is in your scope, right? And we'll call that 2.2 mils wide. 76-inch tall target, okay? And 2.2 mils wide. So I'm going to simply grab my slide rule here, and I'm going to slide her down until my 76 inches, which is going to be just a little over 6 feet. Okay, there's my 6-foot mark, is at 2.2. So we'll call it like maybe right in there someplace, okay? So the distance to the car is going to be just under 900 meters, 880 meters, okay? So we simply took our target width and how big it was in the scope, line them up, and there you go, okay? Let's say you have a 20-inch steel plate, okay, and it's taken up 1.5 mils in the scope. Real simple, 1.5 mils, 20 inches. We're going to line it up with that, and your distance to that target would be just under 350 meters, okay? Just under 350 meters. So that's pretty slick. All right, the MILDOT Master can also be super handy for correcting for fire. Let's say you're a spotter and you're equipped with the spotting scope that doesn't have a reticle in it, okay? And so you are stuck with observing where the shot has gone by using just distances, as say missed by 5 foot and you're at 1,000 meters. Well, let's get this set up here. We're going to move distance here. Target range is 1,000 meters and he missed by 5 feet, okay? You can look here and I'll zoom in a little bit for you. 5 foot at 1,000 meters, you can tell your shooter to adjust 1.5 mils. So you can give them an angular unit of measurement to adjust by, either hold off or turning the turrets on the scope if they're in mils. Now, we also have the second window over here, which is the same information as the first window, just in at a different scale, okay? And so we have 3 columns here. We have minutes of angle, we have inches, and it's labeled as bullet drop, but basically it's a universal inch measurement. And then we have mils, okay? So at 1,000 meters, let's say he missed by a smaller amount. He only missed by like a foot, okay? Not 5 feet, but just a foot. 12 inches. So you can look at this and you can know this first one here, this is in minutes, this is in mils. So it's just a little bit over like 1.1 minutes of angle is all he needs to adjust for. Well, really closer to 1, okay? Or if it's in mils, 0.3 mils. So the second window kind of gives you a little bit of a cheat sheet as far as conversions between minutes of angle and mils. So if you need to convert 2.5 minutes of angle, you just simply go across here and it's approximately 0.7, a little bit more than 0.7 mils, because you have the 2 different units of measurement on this deal. So that's real slick. So the same information is communicated in this window as it is in this window. This still translates over here for your distance, 900, whatever. And this thing does go out to 2,000 meters. And the MILDOT Master is also really handy for doing angle of fire corrections as well, okay? And if you take note here, we have our target range, but we also have the actual horizontal range corrections right on the slide rule for your different angles, all the way up to 60-degree downslope or upslope. So I'm going to take a little bit closer of a look here so that we can show you what we're talking about. So let's say, for instance, we are looking at a target that is 1,000 meters true range. That's the distance in between you and the target. But you're pointed downhill at an angle of 45 degrees. At 1,000 meters, a 45-degree downhill angle is going to give you an actual horizontal range of about 700 meters here, a little bit more. And so you can just correct for the gravity effects of your bullet for 700 meters. So this gives you the quick cheat sheet to all that. You don't have to do your trigonometry. It's all slide rule right in here. Let's say it's only 20 degrees, and you can see the relationships plotted out here. At the slight angles, it's not near as much of an effect, and in the further out you go, the more effect it has. But at 20 degrees, it's only 950 meters actual horizontal range. So that's pretty cool. You can just see it plotted out right on there. Well, if you want to determine the angle, a lot of guys have the bubble tools on their optics, or you might have one of these things. I don't know if you guys remember the slope doper, but you simply line up the top of this tool like a shotgun bead sight or something, okay? And you point it downhill right at the target, and then you look at this gravity a controlled needle here, and we have 20 degrees, maybe a little over 20 degrees, and your cosine value would be 0.94. So you take whatever distance you were at. If you're at a 20-degree angle, you take that distance times 0.94, and it'll give you an actual horizontal range. So this is a cosine kind of cheat tool here. The MILDOT Master actually has that built into it, and you see how I have a string tied here, okay? You dig that string? I got a little weight tied on here, just a 45 ACP cartridge, okay? So what we got is a pivot point. You put the string through there, and then you let this guy hang, okay? And so you point the top of this card, you line that up with the slope that you're shooting uphill or downhill, and then you let that string kind of hang there for you, right? And then you can see what your angle is. And here we have an angle of fire of 25 degrees, okay? And then you simply turn it over, and whatever distance you're at, you just look at your 25-degree correction for your angle of fire, and you are set. So this is incredibly slick. You also have a spot for your ballistic data, and you have basic conversions between inches and centimeters listed here. So there's no wasted real estate on this tool. This is a fantastic thing to have. This will basically eliminate the need for a lot of stuff. You don't even really need to have an electronic calculator for most applications inside 1,000 meters if you have this tool, because this will be pretty precise. When you get beyond 1,000 meters, you're going to want to verify everything with doing it longhand for sure. But if you need something quick and easy, and this is incredibly slick for confirming your information as well too, because when you're doing these calculations longhand, they might be more precise with the calculator, but under pressure you're going to make really silly mistakes. And it is nice to kind of just see if you're in the general ballpark by confirming it with an analog tool like this, which is not going to lie to you. And then you can refine that correction with a calculator if you need to. But I would strongly recommend this tool for sure. This is incredibly slick and definitely worth the money.
But she hits me, disassembles my leg. So I went to the doctor and he gave me a pain. Now she waits, some of us are dreaming, praying, hope that she kills instead of leaving the name. Though she's a minefield, she'll bite your body from the soul.